none of your friends playing cool video games like we are, none of them playing games that you want to play, well, that's fine, because you've come to the right place. We're here to talk about all those video games, and we want you to talk about them with us. You're like, what the heck is this episode? Well, it's something new. It will change next week. This is temporary. This is a special episode of JK Games Video Game Book Club. We're cutting the name. We're getting rid of it. We don't have any books here. Well, I mean, Kayla and Josh read. I don't. But we play video games and talk about it every week. This is now one more game. Oh my god. Isn't that cool? Yes. There might be a new logo somewhere. I don't know. Ooh. Oh yeah, we put it in here, right, Josh?
Yeah, it's on there now. Yeah.
It's on here right now. You can see it. I don't have it pulled up.
Reveal.
But tonight we are diving into a very special episode to kick off our Resident Evil 9 Requiem, part 1 of 4 episodes, where we hope you are playing along with us. But yes, no longer video game book club. We're working on a cool intro that me and Kayla bounce off each other. We just aren't there yet. I don't think. Yeah,
I don't think so. But yeah, I'm excited.
So if anyone has any ideas, send them in chat. What should we say to introduce one more game? We might take them into consideration. So
could be involved.
Could be involved
with the intro.
In this episode, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to have an idea since I'm here.
Yeah, please contribute.
If all three of you are here, each of you could, one person goes 1, the next person goes more, and then the next person goes game.
Oh my god.
I sort of like that.
That's genius.
I feel like that'd be so fun.
It's so short. It's so easy. I might be able to make some graphics. There's like flames showing up when we go one more game. And it's like, you know, like a monster truck commercial vibes. That's what I'm thinking.
I love that.
The flames is so good.
Look, we're collaborating. We're brainstorming.
Yes.
And that incredible idea for that, I'm going to make it. You're going to see it next week. But that voice you just heard, that new face that you're just now seeing, or maybe you've seen it multiple times on Kind of Funny. Well, Madeline's joining us tonight. I copied this blurb directly from your Twitch channel, and I'm going to read it so people can learn about Madeline here. You're going to
I'm going to learn about myself.
Yourself in a second, but I'm going to read it because I really wanted to describe who Madeline is. Horror lover, story game streamer on Wednesdays. Is that still right?
Wednesdays and Sundays.
Okay. Ooh. Sundays, we might have some scary games or other various games. Also, someone that's deeply obsessed with the good photo mode. Me too. Also, obviously, recently reviewed Resident Evil 9 for Kind of Funny. And I just wanted you to know, Madeline, I was going to tell you IRL right here. I love you. I support you. I'm so proud of you. But I did not watch the review that you were on and a part of for
I totally get it.
Evil 9 Requiem. Only because I care too much. Simply, I just wanted to go in blind. And I need a raw, unseasoned opinion, like a piece of chicken without salt and pepper.
Okay,
I wanted to go in. Yeah. So I'm being selfish and just having you on the show instead. So I think that's worth the I haven't seen it yet. As soon as I beat the game, roll credits, I'm going back to watch. I'm sure it was incredible.
It was a fun time. I mean, I don't want to start a competition, but I did watch your Death Stranding 2 in review, so I don't know.
No,
I'm just kidding. Okay, this is even better. We get to talk in person. It's so fun.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, if I might have gotten a few things right, but in case I didn't, and anything else you want to add, Madeline, say hello to everybody and tell us about yourself.
Hello, everyone. I feel like that pretty much sums it up. I stream, every Wednesday and Sunday. On Sundays, I do Sunday Scaries. Big horror game fan over here. So Resident Evil 9 was a really fun thing for me to be able to review for Kind of Funny, as probably one of the best horror games that I've played in the last couple of years. And like low-key my favorite Resident Evil game that I've played so far. So
wow.
There's maybe a hot take, although I don't think it's that hot. A lot of people are agreeing with me. So love a good photo mode. I'm a photographer as well. So it's a crime that Resident Evil 9 doesn't have a photo mode. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous game.
Yeah. I feel like they definitely have to
They could
add
add it. They could add it.
Yeah, they have to. I think that like it's I'm not a photo mode girly, and even me, I'm trying to like take pictures and like just pause the screen, just like admire how beautiful like everything is. We'll talk more about it, but there's definitely some things that you can upgrade in the graphics that I've been like really maxing out on since I have a new graphics card. I'm just like,
she got that hot PC,
ooh.
hot fast PC.
Madeline, you may have said this, maybe I missed it, but where can the people find you? Where is the best place to go to find your stuff?
Thank you. It is twitch.tv/madexposure if you want to see the streams. I'm working on a YouTube channel. I need to get on that. I'm still working on it. But I'm also Mad Exposure everywhere. Blue Sky, Instagram. Those are my main hangs. We were talking about Discord before. I am on Discord. I just don't use it that much.
Yeah.
Now,
That's awesome.
Madeline, one thing we've been trying to do here with limited success, we'll say, is we used to try to have some kind of a game or an icebreaker. And I was going to try to set one up for you. So, I lurked all your stuff, and I was like trying to think of what a
Josh
good game
is a
was going
lurker.
to be.
Is.
Having a
I
lurker.
love this for you.
But
In a positive way.
he's a good
Yeah,
lurker.
a good one. So what I was going to do
Not one of those.
is make, I'm telling you about this game like we're not going to do it, but what I was going to do
The theory of
is-
the game.
Surprise for me. I'm like, I'm just
Yeah,
strapping
no.
in, ready to go.
I was going to have, different cameras from different games and have you like rank them, like the little wooden camera in Wind Waker, or
Okay.
a camera in like Fatal Frame or something. Like video game cameras, top video game cameras. Are there any? We could say in the game universe, are there any fun video game camera related things, or your favorite photo mode?
Ooh, it's a good question. Okay, so weirdly, the first one that came to mind was the little camera you get in Firewatch, just because I feel like that's such an integral part of the gameplay, and the photos are just so like, that whole setting of that game is such a good vibe, and it just feels like very intuitive. And I played that game on PlayStation, but I found out later that if you played it on PC, you could like send your film in from your game, and they would send you like prints of your
Whoa, I
in-game
didn't know
photos.
that.
Yeah, because there was a limited amount you could take with the little camera. So I'm really bummed I didn't find that out till after I had done it, but it's still cool. Photo modes, I really like Ghost of Yote's photo mode.
Oh yeah,
And I also
That's
think
good.
Spider-Man 2 has a really good photo mode.
It does, yeah.
There's one other game, and I can't think of what it's called right now. 1 second. It's just a game about photography, and I played it. It's
Oh,
by
I know.
like a
Yeah. I forget. It's like
I'm
it's
looking
literally
it's by
just
a single dev, and it's a lush foil photography sim.
Oh yeah, that's
If you like
indie,
photography
yeah.
at all, that is a really, really, really cool game. So check it out, because it's so you can really get into the weeds. The devs are really really passionate about photography, and it's very, very cool.
I have a lot
That's
of
awesome.
weird lore, so I told Jerk, I was like, I just have to ask her some kind of photo thing, because I studied fine art photography, like technical black and white film landscapes
amazing.
in college. So that was another path I was going to take, almost as like maybe teaching photography or something. So I was excited when I thought the name was just like, I don't know what I thought, but it's like, oh no, she's like knows her stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just got into film photography that last year, so I've been playing
Okay.
around with film this year.
Yeah.
But been digital up until then. But I love that. We got to chat. We got to
I
chat
know. We'll just have to
photography outside of this.
Let's start a photography podcast.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
ju-
add
he's not
another channel
joking.
to the
Yeah, yeah.
Discord. You
Yeah,
know?
just add it. Okay.
He will straight up do it with you if you say yes. So be warned. Jericho, do you want me to jump into housekeeping and then we get going?
Yes.
Cool. Well, I can't address the housekeeping in the room without first addressing this absolutely popping chat we have going. Representing, we have Heroic Headgear, welcome in. We have Daisy James, French Dip Design, Trav Man, Cognitive Clips, Coal Mines, Cater Blossom, welcome in everyone. Jake Twitchin, wow, in the
All the
flesh.
homies.
And then Trav Man also called our transition to one more game. We've been subtly dropping some hints on our socials. and he-
Man caught on really fast
He
and paid
did.
attention, and
Yeah.
I thought about that again in the shower. I reflect a lot in the shower.
Wow.
Not thinking of all of you in the shower at once, but I do think like, huh, Trav Man, he caught on because Kayla sent a screenshot. I was like, that's Trav Man. He knows.
Yep,
He's paying attention.
He stays knowing. And then we also have P-Schwag and my brother Coleman in the chat, who was also a part of our video game book club last time around. And then welcome in first time chatter Cherry Bit Dream Crossover. Oh, that's so nice. Well, we're very happy to have Madeline, so we're gonna hurry up and go ahead and jump in. But before we do that, just a little bit of housekeeping about what you can expect from us for this upcoming week. If you don't already know, we're part of a network of gaming shows underneath the Drop In Drop Out pod umbrella. We have a lot of things happening literally all the time, but especially this week, we've got some things to go over. So tomorrow, Tuesday, you have video game news with Spotlight Games. P-Schwag, who's in the chat, and Cayman will be covering, I believe, this week. If not, it'll be one of us on there at some point.
One of us.
Wednesday, very exciting. If you've been listening for the past, I don't know how long I've been rambling about this game. Really, all of us have talked about this game, The Legend of Kimori. It is a horse game, and I'm very excited. It is been one of my most anticipated games of the year. It comes out tomorrow, but I'm going to hold off so you guys can get my first impressions. I'm going to stream it on Wednesday. You can watch it right here. We'll be co-streaming with Dido, so you can probably watch it. If you're following us somewhere, you'll see it. But very exciting. Don't know what time yet, but we'll probably go for a couple hours because very exciting. If you haven't seen it, it's basically a game that is based in 13th century Mongolia, and you're riding a horse. You have this whole horse ecosystem, and you deliver mail between these different
Death Stranding style.
It is, yeah, it actually really is.
So I'm going to
play
that. Horse girls?
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
It's a cozy horse Death Stranding. Yeah.
Yes. And yes, I am a retired horse girl who may be coming out of retirement. So you guys just wait. I know,
Scam.
yeah.
Whoa.
And then we have on Thursday, I don't remember who all's on this episode, but I do know that Drop In Drop Out is doing an episode on Pokopia.
Yes, I'm on there. I'm joining in. I'm playing the Pokemonopia game.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what happens. I want to make up something, and I'll instantly forget actually how to say it.
Yep, Cornucopia. Is that something?
I like that.
That's good.
But yeah, that is what you can expect from this week. We do also have Cognitive Clips, who is in the chat, is going to be dropping a Planet of Lana 2 review very soon. Got to play it early. Very exciting. So you can expect that at some point in the coming week. And then you can always join our Discord. We have a Discord that is all of Drop In, Drop Out, but you can find different JK game specific sections where we talk about whatever game we're playing for one more game. So we have a Resident Evil 9 discussion going. We would love if you would join, and you can find all those links and everything else at dropindropoutpod.com. So that is all for our housekeeping, I think. And I'm excited I've held back on really discussing much. I think everyone probably knows how I feel, and probably how most of us feel about this game based on what you've seen online so far, but we have not gone into detail as a group yet. So Jerica, take us home, take us through.
Well, I think we should start pretty broad, and I think literally, the first for Kayla and Josh, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm
About
10 hours in, I'm quite sure.
That's crazy.
So,
yeah. I love that.
And then obviously Madeline has completed it, maybe even played through it again. Have you played through it again, Madeline?
Yeah, I started another playthrough. I think I've fully beaten it, and then I'm 4 hours into an additional playthrough.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wow.
Okay. That's fun.
Which there isn't an achievement for beating it in 4 hours, the whole game.
Oh
and that's not
God.
for me.
Speedrun.
But I know some people have done it.
That's crazy.
I was like, you know what I literally was about to say? I was going to say, I think I might try to do the platinum for this because I can see where it's going to get fun. But if that's one of the trophies that I have to pop, I might not make it unless there's New Game Plus, which I don't know if it has.
It's not a traditional New Game Plus, but it's you get a bunch of the weapons earlier.
Okay.
So
might be doable.
Yeah. I don't want to say too much because actually, it's a little bit of a spoiler, but it's not a traditional New Game Plus, but there is a sort of modified New Game Plus where you get further weapons earlier.
Okay. Well, let's just start with obviously when you hit start, there's one thing I was sort of blown away by was just the amount of options. A little intimidated at first, but man, so many options for controls. audio, visuals, we'll get to that later, that I personally was really impressed with, because I'm like an audiophile over here. I have my surround sound system that I've been sort of just experiencing playing this game without headphones, with just speakers, and just getting blown away. A lot of settings for the camera. And I want to start off with, like, what's the best way to play this game? Because we'll get into it later with bouncing between the characters, like first person, third person. Are you rocking first person with both, third person with both? Or like the game suggests, like first person with Grace, third person with Leon. And that's how I'm playing. So how are y'all playing this game? What have you find that's working?
I'll go first. Because I think this might be a little bit of a surprise, because I remember when we talked about this on Drop In Drop Out, I was very much, we did like a Resident Evil 101 episode, and I was very much on team first person, because that's traditionally how I like to play games, is in first person. So I was like, oh sweet, you get the option. You know, typically most of the Resident Evil games that I have played, which is 4 remake, 7 and 8, and then I started 2 remake, but I have not finished it yet. All of those, I believe, are all of those are third person, right? That I just mentioned. I think so.
Yeah,
so?
like all the up until Village
Up until
was like
7, yeah.
yeah. Or not Village, yes, Biohazard, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was thinking that that was going to be what I did, but I actually didn't like it. I started as first person, and I feel like yeah. So it puts you in that at first, and I was a little worried because some of the early cutscenes with Grace, you're in first person in the cutscene regardless of what you choose in your like POV playthrough. So like, even though I started out as first person, something just felt off to me about like the proportions. I think it's because she's shorter, which is cool that it like kind of adjusts the proportions for that. But I don't know, it was messing with my head a little bit. So I was like, let me just try third person. And I don't know, something about it I just liked better, and I stuck with it. So I'm playing in third person for both of them, which is surprising to me as someone who doesn't normally prefer that. But yeah. What about you, Josh?
So I, at first, because I'd seen a couple clips, not getting spoiled, but I'd seen some clips of the game because, you know, it's a hot game right now. And I was surprised by how much like of the motion capture is in the third person, like captured in it, like Grace's reactions to enemies or scares and stuff. So I was like, ooh, like maybe I want to play third person so I can see the character's reactions and stuff. But when I booted it up and it said, hey, you can do this, but we recommend, like, this is how we designed it. I'm kind of big on like designer's intent, especially the first time through. Yeah, so when I saw that, like, they really like the design intention was to have the kind of scarier first person thing for Grace and the action being third person, I decided to go with that. And so that's what I've done. And what might be surprising though, maybe this is unhinged, I don't know.
You're playing with a DD or Dance Dance Revolution pad. Yes.
No, not yet. Maybe on my second playthrough.
That is unhinged.
No, that's not it. No, for Grace and first person, I play with a keyboard and mouse. And when it switches to Leon, I use a controller. I pick up my controller.
Wow.
Yeah. I switch.
That's weird.
That's your No Man's Sky thing.
Because yes, that's what I do in No Man's Sky. When I get in a vehicle, I pick up the controller. And for me, it's because I like first person with keyboard and mouse versus a controller. But I'll tell you, like, playing this game has been shocking to me, like how cool that it kind of feels like 2 games, separate games that are like interwoven. And I don't know, I think that accentuates it even more when I'm playing with a totally different control scheme for each character. So it literally feels like I'm playing 2 games, and it's like switch to your cassette to side B. You know, I'm like, well, that might be an old reference. I don't know what a new reference would be, but you know what I mean. It feels like 2 separate games that I'm playing that are connected.
It's like one of those plushies that you turn inside out, you know.
Yeah, there you go. That's
a Gen Z reference, you know.
It was close, and I was like, or the dog toy that turns into another toy once the dog destroys the top layer. You know, same thing.
Switch to
know?
disc
like a
2,
Labubu.
like Final Fantasy 7 or something.
That's
a Labubu. So yeah, I don't know. Is that weird to do? Like, I don't know. It's cool.
I think
though.
so.
That's what I do.
The chat is really popping. Heroic Headgear said I've switched no less than 10 times. That he switched back and forth. POV is dependent on moment to moment gameplay for me, but a lot of first person Leon for those FPS vibes. Tryman said I'd probably do third person the whole way. I want to see Grace and Leon survive. I do think there's something to, like, I think that third person, I do feel like I can see a bit more, which makes sense. Like, I feel like I can almost see things in my peripheral better because I'm like
for sure
zoomed
you
out.
can.
So I don't know. And I'm a
I was
scaredy
very
cat.
tempted. We could talk about. I'm not going to get ahead, but I was very tempted to switch Grace to third person because I was getting like legitimately very scared in first person.
Yeah.
Which is intentional, right? Like,
Yeah,
I think
and
that's
so-
the point.
I was
Yeah.
very tempted. I was like, I don't know if I can handle it. I was
I've
losing my mind.
enjoyed first person Grace, and I'm never
Yeah.
swapping. I've never put her in third person. I refuse to, because this is the way you're supposed to experience this game. Because I scream every like 10 minutes, so I know it's
I
good.
was thinking of you, Jerica, because you get the jump scares get you, and there's a lot.
I'm easily startled. Am I a scaredy cat? Not really. Like, literally real world situations. Like, someone could be trying to rob us right now, and I'm like, okay, that is terrifying. I'm sure I'd be scared. But if there was some ghost coming down the stairs, that actually scares me more than anything. Just like ghosts. The Ring growing up scared me to death. Like, I
So
would turn around
terrifying.
every
Yeah.
mirror in my house.
I couldn't have the lights off for a long
Couldn't
time. After
sleep.
that. Yeah.
So like, yeah, I'm a little bit of a chicken, but obviously now I've gotten older, I'm not as scared.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to scare me. And me and Kayla have played some really creepy games. I've played a lot of. I love it how far things could push me to be terrified, and this is the first experience in a long time that I literally cannot anticipate. Like, because I'm in first person and because the jump scares are not really, I don't even call them jump scares, they're curated moments to shock you. Jump scares, I guess, but they're all they're so well placed, and I never see them coming. And I think you just only, it's like a really good roller coaster. You have to be in the front of the seat, and that's the best place. I guess it's technically the last card is the best seat on the
It depends on the roller coaster, I would
Does
say.
it? Okay.
I think so. You get a different
Well, I think-
experience.
I think this game you're in the very front, and that's the way you should stay. But I'm not
Yeah.
telling anyone to change out how they're playing. But God, I love the Grace first person perspective so much in this game.
Jerica, did you
so
notice in
good.
first person, like when you churn like left or right, though, I guess her footsteps make sound. It was throwing me off.
Yeah. One thing
if you
I
could, like,
did
churn your
adjust.
body.
One thing I did adjust,
Interesting.
because I did notice, like, for me and Madeline, if you've heard any options here, I found a Reddit post that helps it felt a little floaty, and I found a post to sort of help control so my movement's a little smoother and sharper with Grace and Leon. But I don't know about y'all. I did feel a little like, which it was probably intentional to your point, where I feel like it's a little slower for me to move around.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, she's falling all over the place. She's having a hard time.
Yeah,
Just
that's
like
what
I
I
would.
She doesn't fall in first person.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's so
Interesting.
interesting. I was going to bring up. I
Yeah.
think
What?
what's so interesting about the different POVs, and like I agree. I think there's a lot to be said about the creator or artist intention and like playing it that way. But I think it's so cool how much of a difference there is.
Yeah.
Like, there are many reasons to do each one, but yes, if you look at Grace in third person, she's like falling on the ground, like scrambling, like stumbling, and you kind of understand why she's moving so fucking slow because she can't stay on her feet. But in first person, you don't really get that vibe. I think it would make you a little sick to have the camera be
Interesting.
like constantly falling on the ground and stuff. So it is a very different experience playing in first versus third as Grace.
Wow. And what did you
I've never-
choose, Madeline? Like, how did you? Oh, sorry.
So yeah, because I was reviewing the game, I played a little bit of each for both. And I did end up preferring first person for Grace, third person for Leon. First person for Leon made me a little bit sick. Like, I'm not someone who gets motion sickness, but I just feel like there was a lot of different things, like when the singing lady gets you and you're like, oh, like you can't aim. And then I'm in first person too. I'm like, whoa, this is too much. And he's doing all his melee stuff and flipping around. And I'm like, I need to be in third person for this because it's too much. But I wanted to amp up the horror, so I played Grace in first person. But I think them giving you the option is such an awesome opportunity because third person does kind of pull you back from the action a little bit. And I think might give people who are a little bit more scared an opportunity to take a beat and not be quite as immersed.
Nice.
It's intense. Like,
Yeah.
this is probably the closest I'm not trying to like compare it to PT, but like walking around as Grace makes me think of PT all the time, especially like going down those hallways and like even like some of the lights that are like flickering or getting hit by things. And I'm like, what's making that lamp move? Like all of that. Like I constantly was thinking of PT and like just walking that creepy ass hallway. I don't know, like it's so good. Like I love this game so much. And yeah, like I do like I like that each of you have like tried different perspectives because I haven't noticed anything about Grace following too much because I've been playing first person. So I literally haven't noticed that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I didn't realize until like our discussion that there was much difference either. I think that's very fascinating.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say like the tone so far in this game has been like the biggest, not like I guess first surprise for me, and just really like getting me interested in a world that obviously I've played a lot of Resident Evil games, but I'm no expert, and it's one of those situations where I usually do have to like go back in time or like revisit a YouTube video and help me figure out the timeline so far. Are there things I should be knowing about?
Yeah.
But I really do like sort of not knowing anything about Grace and going into it sort of blind.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's adding to me wanting to know like what's behind the next corner. So for y'all, like the first hour, was there anything in particular that hooked you the most other than the visuals and the aesthetic of everything? Like just maybe talking about the narrative or gameplay. Like, is there anything that hooked you immediately and you're like, this Resident Evil game is going to be a good time. Good Resident Evil game.
I would say for me, like what hooked me immediately is Grace's personality is so apparent up front. Like the way that her mannerisms, her like way she talks to people, the way that you can just like read the emotion on her face. I feel like I've seen a lot of people talk about this online. I've been trying to avoid things for the most part. I haven't seen any spoilers or anything, but I do think that that's like very compelling to, it's not like I feel like sometimes there can be the stereotype, especially in horror games, of like the frail like woman who doesn't know what's going on. Like I don't necessarily feel like that with her. Like obviously she has this complex like situation with her mother that you learn pretty quickly. She has this like almost, and I'm sure we get more of this just based on the vibes that I've seen, like she has almost this like PTSD associated with this experience, because as you kind of learn more about the situation, you start to see like why. But I also knew nothing. I'm not a big like deep into the lore of Resident Evil aside from like what we've discussed on here and on
Blaster Goblin tried to help us understand,
he did.
But he did an okay job, but it's not great.
I feel like the Jerk and Blaster Goblin beef continues.
Yes.
Did you guys see that he tried to do this in one sitting on Twitch? He like tried to stream the whole thing in one. Yeah, Blaster Goblin, friend of the show. He almost got there. He got to like the last hour, and apparently his OBS crashed.
Oh my gosh.
He's here. Oh my god, that was crazy.
That to the list of reasons why Blaster Goblin sucks. He tries to do streams in one sitting. That's not good for you, Blaster Goblin.
So yeah, I guess that kind of twofold answers is I feel like one, it does a really good job of like giving you the information you need to know about the world that you're in. I feel like they give us a little bit about the past with Leon and kind of like the outbreak in Raccoon City. Like I feel like they give you a drip feed of information that makes sense for the game, and I really love the early impressions that I got of Grace and how she kind of operates in her job and her history. So yeah, that's what got me on the tone. And it honestly looks like a movie. Like I feel like you could cut all of the cutscenes and make this a movie. Like something about it just feels different in like a really cool way. So
yeah, I think the director said they were really inspired by Seven, by David Fincher, which I definitely see this sort of a little bit of Silence of the Lambs inspiration as well.
Yes.
Like I think that's what drew me in, right? Is that it is like kind of a mystery game that turns into a horror game. You're like, okay, what's going on here? Oh, shit is going down. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
for
I
sure.
think that mystery really pulls you in. You're like, okay, who are these people? I think it makes it such an interesting entry point too for people who are not Resident Evil fans, because I don't think you have to know as much going into this as maybe some of the other entries.
That's a really good point. I feel like it would be nice to have, because like how cool is it? You're like, oh, Leon's back. But also you could not know anything and I still like feel have a good time. It's a really good point. What about you guys with your early what drew you into this game, Josh?
I think for me, I'm like more of a casual Resident Evil fan. I like horror games in general, Silent Hill, Resident Evil, but I'm also more of like a
Cult of the
like a
Lamb.
classic, yeah, Cult of the Lamb, classic, more of a classic kind of games person. Like I tend to have played a lot of older games, so you know, Resident Evil 2 is one of my favorites, and the Resident Evil 2 remake, and so like I've mostly only dabbled in some of the other ones. 4 I played a lot, but 7 and 8 I never finished. And so honestly, I only saw the initial announced trailer of this game because I knew I was going to play it. After that, I was like, I'm sold, because it's like Raccoon City, Leon's back. I'm like, I'm sold already. So, but I didn't know much going in now. Like I didn't watch really anything else. And so yeah, I think like Madeline was saying, just the tone of it was so cool from the start, how it's very cinematic and you just feel like you're this FBI employee, but you could tell, you know, maybe not the most confident, and it really like is well integrated within the gameplay, just how everything unfolds and the mystery of it, and the pacing is so good. Like I said, I'm playing on keyboard for one character and controller for another, and so it's fun. The pacing is just like, it's like I want to do one more scene, because I feel like as soon as I'm like really like invested in this character's POV, it's like it's switching to the next one. So
yeah. Tribe Man said it's like a horror cop drama.
Yeah.
I would say in a way it kind of starts out that way. I forgot to mention I'm playing on controller. Wow, surprise.
Wow, that's a big surprise.
Whoa!
Yeah, that is a big surprise.
I play everything on keyboard and mouse. Jericho was saying that in the beginning, but
Yeah.
I don't know, something about this feels better on controller for me.
Definitely.
Yeah. Jericho, did you answer this question? I can't remember.
I described it like,
Yeah.
but I really haven't answered it, have I? I don't know. Like for me, it was just the fact that I could feel that there was a more serious tone. And I think here's the deal. I am a big fan of Ethan Winters. Everyone's going to hate on him. There's a tone difference between 7, 8 and this one. Like it's a big shift. And I'm very happy for that. Like I'm glad. I hope eventually we can get another Resident Evil that might be that sort of little bit more silly. But I am very thankful for this tone shift to be a little bit more serious. Yeah, a little bit deeper in mystery, really focused on just like dreading what's around the corner. And I felt that in Village too. Now that you've brought that up, Madeline, that, you know, this was a little bit closer, or not, I keep saying Village, Biohazard. Just walking around that creepy house in Biohazard was terrifying, just the atmosphere. And that I feel that a similar, less gross, creepy in this one, but I don't know, like I was sad to see like some of that leave with Ethan Winters, but that chapter is closed. And when I see the commitment to this shift has been consistent in my playthrough, that's where I'm like, okay, you've earned my respect. Like you are sticking. There was a plan with this game and they stuck to it. And we'll get into it later, but just the fact, to Josh's point, I feel like I have 2 games in one, and oh my God, like this might be the perfectly paced game for my brain that I've ever experienced in a really long time, to the point where like I can't put it, or maybe it's not a great thing. I don't know. It might be a bad thing. It's so good. You just get another new way of playing, or another new, where is this, a narrative drop, or yeah, you're swapping back to Leon after this drag with hiding around the corners with Grace, trying to not get got by whatever lady's name is. I'll just do that. You probably know who I'm talking about. It's just a good break in between, but it was just the perfect break. So I don't want to stop because it's always a good break. And I'm like, oh, cool. Well, to Josh's point, I can keep playing. But I think the commitment to tone overall is like where it's like, yeah, I need to take this game seriously.
Yeah.
So
That's a really good point.
yeah, I like it. But yeah, let's sort of like dive into some of the gameplay, because I think going back and forth between Grace and Leon is like the centerpiece truly of this game, and like how well it's been designed for both scenario or both plays. Gameplays is like, it's so well done. Like that's the point where I'm just like, this is already my game of the year, just how well they've executed having two really different ways of playing this game. Because I feel like for Grace, you're avoiding, trying not to get caught, because you are someone, you're an FBI agent, but like she's obviously dealing with some PTSD, had some situations where returning to these situations are terrifying for her, so she's not as confident with her abilities. And also she's not Leon. Leon is a fucking beast.
Yeah.
He's got some moves. So like them going back and forth with gameplay and it really feeling different and fun for each of them, I think is an achievement. So I don't know, what else can y'all add to your impressions of going back and forth between them?
I agree that it feels like a totally different game, and I love how different it feels to play as the two characters. Like it definitely, I felt, at least in the first Leon section, because I also was surprised at how quickly we got to Leon. I felt like they were gonna hold that back for a bit.
I did too.
So, yeah. So it was very interesting how I was like, oh shit, he's right there. And it was such a cool opening section with him. I loved it. I think it was really well done. And it showed, I feel like at first, at least, and I've only played as him twice. I'm only on like back and forth with him twice. But I feel like he feels like almost like OP compared to Grace. But yeah, that's kind of my like my high level thoughts. I really enjoy the switching. I was surprised at how quickly they introduced him. That's kind of like my overall thoughts. What about you guys?
Was there, but once again, back to like, I'm gonna just take us off the path for just a second, but like in the settings, yeah, pull the car over. I actually want to know if there's any, I don't think I've noticed this, but is there any change in difficulty based on who you're playing with, or is it just like controller, like scheme, or like perspective? I didn't know if like, it'd be cool to like change the difficulty with Leon like a little bit. Like, I don't know.
think you could do that.
Yeah,
I don't think you
didn't
can.
see
I
that.
just didn't know if I
think
missed
you
that.
can do the overall like difficulty, but I don't think there's a per character difficulty. That's
Okay.
interesting though.
We didn't talk about the difficulty settings either. What did everyone play on?
Whatever
or what is everyone
normal
playing on?
is.
Yeah.
They did the normal modern because I don't want to mess with the ink ribbons.
Yeah,
It's
that's what I
stressful
did.
enough.
Yes.
I'm doing casual. I'm just trying to have a good time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm playing middle of the road.
Yeah, I just picked whatever they suggested to me.
Yeah.
What
It was
default.
interesting. Josh pointed this out in the Discord, which you should join if you have it. And the way they worded it is interesting. They said like it's not like easy, normal, expert. It's like classic, and what was the other option? I forget.
Modern.
Like
It's
modern
yeah,
and
standard
yeah.
classic and standard modern.
I thought that was interesting choice of words, but
Yeah, because there's not actually a hard. You don't unlock like a hard difficulty until you finish the game. There's like casual, and then there's the standard modern, which has autosaves, and then the standard classic is more of the classic version, which is harder because you have a limited amount of saves, and those you have to have the ink ribbons for. And so it technically is not harder in the fact of it. I don't think it's changing the game in any way other than like limiting your ability to save a lot of times.
I need to put my money where my mouth is one day, because one of my rants is like how games like used to be designed with save points, and that was like a mechanic in the game. And here they are doing it in 2026. I'm playing on casual.
What's wrong with you?
come on, man.
Run it back.
Second
It would be
playthrough.
fun to like try to challenge yourself though, to be smarter with your inventory, and like that really does, like if you were to go back and change to traditional, is it classic difficulty, whatever it's called, it'd be me really mapping out my next move versus just like, I hope I'm going in the right direction. I'll just save, and if it's wrong, I'll just start back here. So that might be cool. It might be something I revisit.
Yeah.
Madeline, I'm interested from you. Like, this seems to be the center point of this game, from what I know, because I literally haven't read like any reviews. I just saw the Metacritic score, and I'm like, shit, this is a good Resident Evil game. That's all I know. But from your perspective, like, has the gameplay between Grace and Leon been like your favorite part of the game so far, or do you have anything to add to your experience that won't spoil us too much?
Yeah, I think so. I tried to be pretty radio silent on this as well, because I'm like a trailer hater for everything, basically. Like, I don't like to watch movie trailers. I don't want to read too much about a book. Like, I like to go into things fresh with no perspective, because I just feel like there's so many people who are just trying to tell you everything, and I'm like, I don't need to know. I just want to go in and make my own opinion. But when I saw the reveal at Summer Game Fest and then found out when they announced Leon's inclusion, I was like, my hope for this game is that we get the sort of horror version of 2 and 7 with some of the fun gameplay of 4. That was what I had been saying up until then, because I love the gameplay loop of 2. 4 is so fun, but it's like the story is kind of whatever, and like
the president's daughter. That's
yeah,
all
like,
I just like
whatever. And then like 7 has like the horror and first person stuff, and I was like, okay, if we can kind of combine all of those into one super game, that would be ideal. And a lot of people are like, yeah, that would be cool. That's also kind of how we got Resident Evil 6, which everyone hates. So it's like it could be very like monkey paw situation, and I am happy to say that I think that I got pretty much what I asked for, which is that it has a lot of the great horror elements in the gray sections, the first person, the sort of puzzle gameplay loop, and then when you're Leon, you get to have so much fun just kicking people in the face and shooting them with the shotgun. But I mentioned this on my Kind of Funny review, and I think the thing when we talk about the pacing and the gameplay, they're so intertwined for me, and I think for everybody, which is that horror works best when you have something to kind of compare it to. And you can't, most people are not going to be scared if you make them be scared for like an unlimited amount of time. Like at a certain point, you're going to be like, okay, whatever, there's zombies, like I get it. And having those Leon sections where you are so powerful, it lets your guard down, you kind of get a breather, and then you're brought back to Grace, and suddenly you're like, oh shit, I forgot. I don't have any bullets. There's no light anywhere. And what's happening to me? And you get scared again. And then right when you get past the point where I feel like you're like, I don't think I can do this anymore, they're like, by the way, here's Leon, and he's going to do something so fucking cool that you're going to laugh, and all of the tension will be dispersed, and then on to the next thing. And it's so... it's such an addictive loop, as we've all been talking about. We're like, well, I got to see what Leon does next. Okay, well, I got to see what Grace does next. And the way that they walk that tightrope is extremely, extremely impressive, because I think it would be easy to do it poorly.
So you mentioned this, and I was curious about this, and I think this is a perfect place to ask it, because like you said, we've all been talking about how well this works. And it's like 2 games in 1, and it's action and the horror and everything. And you did allude to this, because Resident Evil 6 kind of tried this a little bit by mixing different elements of things. But, you know, classically, that's kind of considered the least favorite game. And this one's getting like all the things. So what, maybe if you could speak to, like, what do you think they did wrong there in 6 that kind of, because on paper it kind of sounds similar, how you're mixing kind of 2 things?
I have never played 6, so I don't actually have a specific personal answer. It is one I don't even know if I will play. Like when I'm talking about, I've been going through slowly over the last couple of months, like playing everything, and I'm like, do I even play this? And so many Resident Evil fans are like, no, it's not even worth playing from like a completionist perspective. So I don't know if I'll get to it.
Okay.
I think for me, if I were to guess, knowing what I know about Resident Evil 6 just from seeing things and hearing people talk about it, and then having played all of Resident Evil 9, I think that there is such a difference in the gameplay and the pacing, but I think tonally it's very consistent. Like, we don't go from like wacky Leon being like whatever, like machine guns everywhere, to like a super serious, like overtly maybe melodramatic thing. Like, they're still keeping a kind of similar thing. Like, Leon's cracking his one-liners, but with like a sense of sadness behind them that you can kind of feel. And like, Grace is scared, but she's also kind of like very normal person being like, what the hell is happening? And I think this sort of grounded tone of, and the fact that it is very grounded, like as much as a zombie game can be, but I don't think they go off the rails really, as far as like, yeah, it's the president's daughter, like it's a, you know, I don't know. I feel like anything I pull up,
I would just like to say the word, the Megamycete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that, I mean, could it show up? I don't know, but I love saying that word, whatever that means. So
I think, like the groundedness helps, and the tone being similar, not obviously exactly the same, I think helps it stay on the rails. It does not go off the rails, in my opinion.
Yeah. This game definitely speaks to a more broader audience, I think, if you can get over the fact that it is terrifying to play by yourself. I haven't not played solo yet. I've been playing with my girlfriend. Like, she's like basically backseat gaming. She's helping me grab things. She's like, did you check around that corner? Like checking me. She's like, you didn't go over there. I was like, okay, yeah, you're right. Let me go over there. But yeah, I think it's definitely more like in a broader sense, like a lot more people will be playing this game, especially after the glowing reviews. So I think it's exciting for Resident Evil, because I hope we get another game like this, because I think I'm sort of spoiled. I'm spoiled now. I haven't even beat this one, but now I'm like, I always want to have two different dynamics when I play a Resident Evil game? Like,
yeah, I know. I mentioned this to all of you earlier. When I was reviewing this, I was playing 7, 4 remake, and 9 all at the same time. And I feel like it made me maybe unfairly look at 4 remake and 7, because I'm like, well, I'm already playing like basically the perfect Resident Evil game in 9, and I feel like it's just showing what these other two lack. So maybe not the best thing to be doing all at the same time.
That's funny. Yeah. But correct me if I'm wrong, but you've been able to play as two different protagonists before, just not simultaneously, right? Like, it's more just like you can choose, or you can do two different ones. Or
I feel like Resident Evil 2. So I played Resident Evil 2, not the original. I played the remake, and like you pick. Is it Claire? Is that Claire?
Yeah, I think so.
I keep calling Grace and Claire and getting their names swapped up. I'm so sorry, but you pick, like, commit to one or the other, right? And that's who you play with the whole time, or do you swap back?
No, you play. So you can do A run and B run. So you can pick Leon or Claire as your A run, and then you can play the other person as your B run.
So it's similar to how this is just not intercut, like cut.
This just works. I feel like this works really well with the way that it's like cutting back and forth.
And then like in the Leon run, there's like the Ada sections where you play as Ada, and then in 4 remake, the Ada has her own like DLC.
Yeah, that's right.
What she was doing while Leon was doing that sort of thing. And that's something I had been asking, that I had been thinking about as well, playing 4 remake and playing 2. I'm like, I kind of just wish these were simultaneous. Like, I want to see like what everyone's doing at the same time, rather than flipping, doing all of one person's thing, then another person's thing. And this kind of does give you that, right? Because we all played that first section, like Grace is doing her thing, she gets to the gate, and you're like, oh no, what's gonna happen to her? And then you get to see what Leon was doing up until that moment, and you're like, I love that. I don't want to play just all Grace or just all Leon. Like, them mixing them in really keeps you immersed in the timeline of the story.
This reminds me of this time that Kayla made me read 2 books that were 2 separate books, but I had to read like 2 chapters from one, and then 2 chapters over here, and then 2 chapters from this one, and then 3 chapters from this one.
I did do that, and the books are over here somewhere. The Throne of Glass books. And then it was worth it. You're welcome, everyone. If you need a recommendation, just let me know.
Well, how are we feeling about the puzzles we've encountered so far? Is this like I guess for me, like, I'm not a big, I could be a little bit of a derp if you can't tell. You know, sometimes I gotta be led to drink the water from the pond or whatever the saying is. I gotta be led there a little bit. And this game does really well with sort of, they've done great level design, because like I am naturally looking at places that I probably should be looking, but it's not, there is an idea of a choice in the options when I'm exploring. Like, I could go that way, but I might need to go this way. And then you got your map, of course, but I do feel like the puzzles and just trying to figure out where I need to go next, I know it gives you the objective, but it still can be unclear if you're not familiar with the layout of this. You know, the first really big area we get to is this mansion, and, well, hospital mansion.
Yeah, it's
Victor's
like a
estate.
Psych ward.
Yeah,
but it's kind of mansion-y, yeah.
Yeah.
it's definitely giving vibes that I'm like, this place. How did not anyone know about this place and shut it down a long time ago? But, anywho, like, I feel like they don't do a lot of hand-holding in this game, which I appreciate. I do like it to be a little bit more challenging, but I don't want it to be too challenging. But I want to get there on my own and not feel like I'm being. I told Kayla and Josh this on another. We were talking about Reanimal late last week. I'm like, don't funnel me. Don't give me options and then funnel me. Yeah. Like, if you're setting the stage for me to be able to play in this world, let me play. But I feel like they've designed this game very well around like giving you freedom and making you feel like you can do whatever you want to do in a way that I'm not feeling like I'm also dumb and can't figure out where to get to next. Like, I'm finding it naturally by just being curious. And yeah, with the puzzles so far have felt like not the most difficult. I think it's blended really well. Yeah, any standout puzzles or moments that you're like, this game's sort of hard or too easy?
I will say I did feel really dumb right at the beginning, kind of the scene that's playing, which is like a tutorial little scene just to get used to the controls. But basically Grace goes to investigate this body at this hotel or whatever. And I guess the first quote unquote puzzle is there's a locked door and you need a key. I could not find that key for like forever. I had no idea. I just felt like a total idiot. I walked back all the way out of the hotel. Like, I'm like looking around outside. I was like, I don't know. Did someone drop the key?
I can see myself doing that though.
Then, because there's like some nasty grody toilet, I thought maybe you had to like put your hand in there. It was going to be like in there. So I'm like trying like all these buttons. Like, do I not know the controls? Or like, I couldn't figure it out. And then, just finally, whatever I saw, it's like at eye level, it's like right in front of your face. But I did feel like I was like, oh no, if this is how it's gonna go, like, I don't know. But I've been loving the puzzles. Again, something about, like I said, they're really catering to a lot of the people who got, like, Kayla's first one was a first person Resident Evil, but mine was more of the fixed camera or like you're exploring the mansion kind of thing. So it really feels like they're combining like the different people who've gotten at different points, because like you said, this kind of mansion-y psych ward, I'm really liking the vibe of it. It reminds me of the older games and even the puzzles. The one thing I like about the Resident Evil puzzles is when it reminds you of those old like 90s point and click like adventure games like Myst, where you're like at this little screen with like, the sun and the moon and you got to click the things. I don't know. It scratches that part of my brain. So I'm really into the puzzles so far. This is very early, but I'm liking it so far.
I'll be honest, I haven't really encountered a legit puzzle yet. I feel like I know like the traditional Resident Evil puzzling, which is kind of I think what I'm about to come upon, like where I'm at.
I think you're literally at one, like where you stop.
Is like finding like X number of pieces and putting them together to get to X thing. I feel like so far the kind of like missing things or the things you need to look for, like the screwdriver early on, they all really make sense in the world. Like, I feel like sometimes in this type of game you can run into things that feel a little bit outlandish, like they're just trying to like put it in there to like get you to get an achievement kind of thing. But I feel like they all make a lot of sense so far in the linear playthrough of the game. So nothing has felt too hard so far, but that could change as we get further on, because I also can be a little bit of an airhead when it comes to puzzles. So
is this
we'll see.
Metroidvania?
Oh God, here we go.
Maybe we're gonna cut a clip.
Jerka, you got to get all the clips. Jerka, do you need to play the other Resident
Madeline,
Evils before?
I like making clickbait that makes gamers mad. to get us engagement, I do it. But then it's also sort of coming from the heart. So, I mean,
Honestly, it kind of is a Metroidvania. I think it is.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
I think RE2 kind of is as well, at least the remake. Like, I think that's a thing that I think is so interesting when we talk about puzzles, which is that in relation to Resident Evil, which is that there are like the puzzles, right? Find the thing, put the thing in the lock, whatever. You know, we all know that that's what we're doing in Resident Evil.
Yeah.
But I think the real puzzle is like, you have to keep going to the same places, finding new things and going back and deciding like, okay, well now I found the Pearl Star and it goes over to this door over here. I don't know what's in there. It could be nothing. It could be a one shotgun shell, or it could be the thing that I need to progress on to the next thing. Is it worth it to me to spend my last 4 bullets to go down this hallway that's full of enemies to see what's in there? Like, and then you unlock something else and you have to kind of do it again. I call it the Resident Evil loops because you're just constantly looping through the same areas, learning different things, having new things accessible to you every single time. And in that way, I think it kind of is a Metroidvania.
It is.
Wow.
Absolutely. Resident Evil 9, Metroidvania. It is. You've heard it here, folks. It meets all the criteria. So, Blaster Yavin trying to give me some hate. Okay, well.
But in the same vein, Cater Blossom giving you some love, saying, I love a non-traditional Metroidvania or a Metroidvania in disguise.
That's what we're calling this now. Non-traditional Metroidvania. Yes.
I like it.
Metroidvania in disguise. That is this whole genre of Resident Evil 9 / horror.
Honestly, a lot of things about this game in particular feel pretty like genre bending in a way. Like I feel like there's a lot of different stuff going on for sure.
Man, I love I think that's probably one of my favorite things about Resident Evil, but I also hate it at the same time, is just exploring and making those loops that you mentioned, Madeline.
Yeah.
Because there's always something I miss though too. So that's why I do it a lot. And I'm thankful for my girlfriend sort of sitting by and just like watching and like, because I'm just on the lookout for anything about to like come out and get me. And she's just like, hey, you didn't look in that. Like, can you click on that? Like, is that something you can pick up?
Look at it a little closer.
It's been nice. It's like having an extra set of eyes around as I'm playing. But yeah, I think I always considered the environment or the map, whatever you're in, the level, being a puzzle itself. And so far, like, this mansion was designed perfectly. Like, it's 10 out of 10, well designed. They were putting things in places that made me think, ooh, I can't wait to get that level 2 bracelet so I can get behind that wall and see what's there, or go upstairs somewhere. Like, and that's one of the things I think I get so sad, because I know it's going to be a few years until we get another Resident Evil, but I haven't beat this one. And I'm like, this is what I miss the most out of Resident Evil. I just love exploring and like picking up clues and trying to figure out how to get behind this cabinet to get here. Like, it's so good. And I think in itself, like the mansion, the environment, the levels where you'll get to later, like have been like, it's chef's kiss. Like, it's perfectly Resident Evil. And it might be the reason why I do go back and try to get the platinum. I don't know if I'm gonna try to do it, because I like being in this creepy ass mansion so much. It's fun. And I like to see if I can beat my record of less steps this time, because I'm definitely making a lot of loops.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Well, I sort of want to segue, unless anyone has anything else about the gameplay that we didn't mention. Gameplay, puzzles, how it feels.
I will say, like, because you mentioned the mansion, one thing that surprised me the most, like, because I like to explore or try to, like you're saying, like try to click on everything or whatever. But definitely when I switched to Grace in this mansion portion after the girl kind of part, but when it opens up a little more in the mansion, I was surprised how much like I was panicking almost, because I was like, I don't know, I can't do anything. And so there's enemies and stuff, but it's like I have like one bullet, so I felt like I was just running, and I was like, I don't know if this is the right way. I'm like being chased or like running into doors and like kind of just stumbling my way around, and kind of surprised like how they designed it to kind of push you in certain directions or like move you in those ways. Because then I would just find like, oh, I guess I'm supposed to be here because You know, it seems like this is correct, but I don't even know how I got here. I was like running from 3 guys over there or something.
Yeah, I feel like that's the genius, right? Which is that they kind of let you do a little loop through everything before you have any way to interact with anything. So then when you finally do have some agency as Grace, you're like, okay, I remember this. Like the dining room's over here and that loops back over here. And I noticed something I wanted to look at, but I was being chased. So now I can go back through. And now that I have 10 bullets instead of 1, maybe I can actually do something about this. And it is it's a good that you kind of get that tour loop, right? Of like, your introductory loop of like, okay, this is where everything is. Okay, now go back to the lobby and good luck. Figure it out now.
Yeah. And then I'd be like, oh, there's a typewriter. Gotta save. Hurry. Well, I have things. And then I'll be okay, gotta go again. Like, I saw the first typewriter. And I was like, thank God we have the save point. Yeah, I don't know about you guys. This may be like getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, talking about the story. At least so far, this is very minimal, like spoilers. But like when Leon hands you the Requiem like gun, and I'm like, yeah, we have the Requiem gun. I'm like, oh shit, it has 1 bullet in it.
Yeah.
I know. And I was like, okay, bet. I encountered this huge enemy with a butcher knife. I'm gonna light his ass up with this Requiem gun. And then I do, and I was like, oh, it didn't kill him.
That's so I didn't try.
It would have probably been my luck. I would have missed.
It was so funny because my husband played for the first time after watching me play, and he saw and he was like, okay, I'm not going to use any of my Requiem bullets as Leon in his section, so that when he gives the gun to Claire, like she'll have, or I said Claire too, to Grace, she'll have a lot of bullets. And then when we get to that part, she still just has 1. She still just has 1.
Damn.
And I was like, no, because he didn't load the bullets into the gun before you gave it to her.
That's
and he
so
was like, no,
funny.
I didn't even use the cool gun because I wanted her to have more to start with. And I was like, the game devs, they figured out, they knew you were going to do that.
That's so funny. I would that makes a lot of sense. I want to try that. Big brain energy.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I wanted to talk about before we move on is or unless Jerica, this may be an action that you want to do about the enemies, like the way that combat feels in this game.
Bring it up. What you got?
Yeah. So I feel like, and I know you guys kind of talked about this on Drop In, Drop Out when you did like your first impressions last week, but I feel like the enemies are much more intelligent in this game. Like there's a lot of like interaction that you have with the enemies, like especially the section with the chainsaw when they pick it up, and like everything is interactable. Like that, I don't think that's a word, but you know what I mean. And like when I got to that section where like the enemies are picking up the chainsaw that was just like on the ground, I was like, whoa, what is going on? Like it feels very much, and I think that adds a layer of horror onto the discussion or onto the game as well, because there's more possibilities that are happening with your enemies, and I find that terrifying and very interesting, like the way that they've really made it even more dynamic to be in combat in the game. So I thought that
got
was
amplified
really
when you got to hop in to Leon's shoes for the first time, and I'm glad you brought this up, because like I remember being like, holy shit, like. And funny enough, that's the one moment I was nice. I had just started playing with Leon, but I'm just like looking at Audrey just drooling, like watching me play. She's got her headphones in, so I can...
At Leon, because same.
That too. I mean, Leon's a good-looking gentleman. But have I been trying to take a look at the backside? They hide that purposely. I can't see it. I'm like,
they don't do that. They don't do that in the anime games. They should do it in this.
Dang. Good-looking fella. But I will say this, like, she really wanted to play, I could tell. So I'm like, do you want to play? I just got to Leon. I'm like, do you want to play? I'm going to fix something to eat and I'll watch you play. And she just like hops in there, and like, I'm sort of glad that this happened though, because I got to just like, I was just forced to, like, once again, I think I just have tunnel vision when I'm playing. Like, it is hard for me to see like around me a lot. And when I was watching her play, like, I was watching the enemies and how they were reacting to Leon. I was watching them pick up the chainsaw, drop it. And like when she would take the chainsaw and like, I guess, shove it up into one of the enemies, like it got stuck in them. And you'll see that in a few times like, later on in the game. it takes the chainsaw away because they're meat, so it pulls the chainsaw out of his hands, and like watching them like float around with that, and then it drops on the floor, and then it could get your ankles. Man, I was walking all over that chainsaw when she gave the controller back to me. I'm like, Leon's has no feet now; they just got zipped off. But it is wild, like seeing how the enemies react and the different variations that Leon has with combat, because you see a lot of different things depending on, I feel like if the enemy's like about to die, or they're bigger, or they do have this weapon that's huge that they can toss. Like his combat like adapts to that naturally. It's something that you don't have to do as a player. You just focus on beating the shit out of these guys for the most part and parrying. But some really cool cinematic things happen when you are fighting the zombies. It's cool.
I think for me, like the chainsaw fell on the ground, the zombie tried to get, it was just dragging him. Like it was just driving. The chainsaw was just dragging him on the ground. I was like, what do I do?
Yeah, it was really cool. I think that's like just a really good example. And I'm very excited to see how they like build upon that throughout the game. Because I feel like that was almost just like a little like tease of like what you can expect from like the enemy. Oh yeah, Davy James said in the chat, because Patrick is streaming on Drop In Drop Out's Twitch, like his whole playthrough of Resident Evil, so you guys should check out some of the VODs and watch when he's playing that. He said, Davy James said, I think it was Patrick who died in his run by being hugged by a zombie with a chainsaw sticking out of his chest. That's crazy. That's
they'll
wild.
like pull you onto themselves. There's so many cool like death animations.
Yes.
And also like every zombie has its own little personality too. Like they have their habits and everything. So there's so much unique things where I played the whole thing, but I've been watching everyone's different streams as I can, and I'm seeing so many new things that I never saw before. Like if you let the chainsaw like spin around on the ground and you walk up to it, it will cut you. If it's not like standing still, it will saw into your legs. Like that they'll pull you into each other. Like there's so many of these unique death animations and personality traits. It feels very like a real world.
Yeah. I love that you mentioned the death thing, because very classic Resident Evil you have died scene. It's so
They're
cool.
so long.
It's
They're so
cool.
long. They really
though.
make me feel bad about dying. Not even bad, just like I feel like I am dying a little bit. Part of my soul just is sad here that I keep getting destroyed.
But I just love the like animation screen and like how like the you have died things pops up. I just think it's very cool.
The enemies, something else y'all mentioned that made me think of this, like there's this one lady in a bathroom at some point that you encounter.
Oh yeah. She was crazy.
Like all workers. They were all like doing their job. So like they have, I don't know if it's actually explained, I just missed it, like what has happened to them. Obviously they're infected, but like they're retaining like intelligence, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
But this lady's like obsessed with cleaning, and it's so me because I'm OCD and I clean a lot. And she's just like, not clean, scrubbing, cleaning. And I'm like, that might be my hell, being stuck in a dirty bathroom and just completely rubbing my blood over and like, nothing's ever clean. And like, she's just bleeding on the wall and like trying to clean it over and over. I just watched her do that. She never saw me, which was entertaining. I was like, man, this poor lady, that might be my personal hell. So I just thought that was funny.
There's another lady who's like an office worker, and when you kill her, she goes, I'm sorry.
God,
and I was like, oh no, she's apologizing for me killing her. Like, we know she was one of those always apologize ladies in her life.
Customer service, rise up.
I'm like, man, this feels bad. I feel sorry for these zombies. I want to help them, man.
I think that is interesting. I don't know how much they lean into it, but you know, because I guess in theory, in all these games, a lot of the zombies or the different forms of them, I mean, they're normal people who are transformed, but they don't really address that usually. You're just like, oh, whatever, we're taking them out. So it is kind of interesting in this one. They're kind of adding a little bit of like, hey, remember they were like a person. Yeah. Like, you know.
That is really interesting.
Poor janitor lady. She's never going to clean that bathroom. I helped her. I put her out of her misery. I felt her pain. I feel like my bathroom is like that too. I just clean it one day. The next day, it's just like, it's never clean.
Yeah.
Anywho. Hey, what about those visuals in this game? Yo, woo! Pow! Wow, this game looks so good. And the audio. Oh my God. I'm hearing there's some issues though with audio, like headphone wise. maybe for some folks. I'm playing with surround sound system. Very lucky to have that Atmos. So like really playing with some of the speaker arrangements and making sure like literally I was able to pinpoint one of those little raccoon shaky boys, like little trophies.
They're so cute.
I closed my eyes because I really wanted to test this out, and I knew I was in the right room, so I wouldn't like go into the hallway. And I closed my eyes, and I was able to get right up on that statue, like not being able to look. Like that's how attuned I have my audio settings, because you can tweak so many things with just the audio. Like the audio mix for this game has been the best I've ever. I said this on Drop and Drop Out. Best audio mix in a video game I've ever listened to. Like it sounds so good. I don't know. I haven't played with headphones at all, so I don't know what that's like. But I was just like looking up settings for home theater and just making sure I have all the things in the PlayStation, in the PS5 set right, and then looking if because there's so many settings in RE9. Like there's so many things. And I was like, do I have everything on that I need to have on? Using 3D audio or whatever. And I saw that some people are having some sound quality issues with headphones. So I don't know if any of you experienced that. But yeah, broad discussion of wowza, this game looks so good. Wowza, it sounds really good. Or wowza, maybe it doesn't sound good to y'all. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been playing with headphones. I'll be honest, I haven't noticed anything crazy with the audio, but maybe it's because my settings aren't right, potentially.
Yeah. I mean, more than likely, yeah,
it sounds
you
great.
might not have something turned on right. So let me send you a guide, because like there are, well, to its detriment, like there's a lot of things to tweak. And then with playing on PC, there's other things you have to turn on in like PC settings for your headphones. So
yeah. Davy James said, I honestly wish I had sound issues. That's funny. But no, I would say like it sounds fantastic, and like it definitely adds to the scary the way that it has like the like surround sound in your headphones too. But I've been mostly like honest. I know this is kind of like broad discussion around visual and audio like design, but Josh actually pointed something out to me because I'm still getting used to having a computer that can run things really well. So I actually turned on path tracing. Do you guys have it on like full like path tracing?
Yeah,
oh my god, it's insane. Josh, you talk about it, because I didn't turn it on until like you mentioned it to me, and it looks wild.
So you have a pretty modern. You have a 5000 series card, I think.
Yeah, and I'm playing on. I know I kind of mentioned this already, but yes, I'm playing on PC with like a 5070 is my graphics
One thing
card.
that's crazy, because I only have a 3080, but this game is so well optimized. It runs so well, even on all kinds of settings. I messed with the settings for like 30 minutes, just trying different combinations of things. And I was very impressed by the performance overall, and even the fidelity at weird lower kind of settings. It still looks really, really good. But yeah, if you can manage to get the path tracing on, I know some people don't prefer path tracing. Some other games have had it in the past.
I get confused because I'm playing on PS5. I thought I just hear tracing, I hear ray tracing. What's the difference with path tracing?
It's a different form of. I think that you have a PS5 Pro. I think the PS5 Pro does an equivalent version of it, so you're probably seeing the same thing. But it's kind of a different form of ray tracing without getting too technical. And some people don't prefer it because it gives a little bit of a softer look. But to me, it's more realistic. It's more like kind of how you see things.
Yeah.
Like there's a little bit more of a haze in the air. So lights, how everything interacts. It just looks so good. And so I've been loving that. And on the audio side, let me tell you, what a year for games that start with RE and have crispy audio. Because I mentioned this in our Reanimal review. I was like, this is the best. This is a weird indie game. It's like the best sounding game I've heard yet until I played this. This game sounds... I literally couldn't take it after a while with the headphones. I plugged in my speakers. I was like, I can't do this anymore. It was freaking me out.
It's too immersive.
I plugged in the speakers. I ended up going back to headphones after I chilled out a little bit. But yeah, very good, very crispy. Every little sound, every little detail, all kinds of background sounds, everything you're interacting with. I'm like kind of blown away by the overall production value and budget of this, I suppose.
Yeah.
Just very high quality. Capcom is on a roll lately, and yeah, the RE engine, they keep upgrading it, and I really want to see what else they can do with this engine too, because a lot of their other games use this engine. So
they use their own engine, is that right? I don't know a ton about it. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it's
I was
wild.
sorry, I'm getting distracted. That Blaster Goblin sort of beat me at my own game. I thought he was talking about himself, which I was like, finally, he's realizing he is a bozo and he doesn't know what path tracing is. Good thing they have Josh here so he can learn. I just read that wrong. He's just trying to give me a hard time. Blaster Goblin, you suck. I'm adding another thing. You're lucky I can't reach my Dolly Parton furry notebook. It's got like literal fur on it. But I was gonna bring up something that I lost track because of Blaster Goblin, so I guess he wins this one. Oh, the little sticker of him is what's his face made me happy though. What was I gonna say?
Well,
We were talking
I'm curious,
about,
Madeline,
audio
did you
and
play it
visual.
on PC or PS5?
So I just played it on the base PS5, so I didn't have path tracing, which is okay. It still looks beautiful
it's-
without
Yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah, it does.
here's the thing, I love a good visual fidelity as much as the next person, maybe more than the average person, but even at its worst, I feel I'm putting worst in quotes here.
Yeah.
Like, even at its worst, this game is so well optimized that it looks great. Like,
Yeah.
I think if you are a stickler, you're going to notice the big difference between the ray tracing and the path tracing, all that stuff. There's really good comparisons you can see online of like the textures and the skin and the rain and the reflections and everything. But even on its lowest settings, this is still a gorgeous, gorgeous game.
Yes.
I bet that's what you helped me remember what I was gonna say, Madeline, because I was like,
You're welcome.
thank you. I was Googling, like, I was like, this just seems like, obviously, Village was a great game. And it also looked really good. And then Biohazard, same, but just the scale of it wasn't as big. And I'm like, well, God, how long did it take them to develop RE9? Like, I feel like this game didn't take them no time. I feel like this, because like when did Village come out? Like 3 years ago, or has it been longer? I don't remember.
It goes 2021.
Okay,
Am I crazy? Is that right? Hold on.
I should have looked that up. I did Google about like how long have they been working on this
2021.
one?
Nice.
Okay,
Yeah, so it's been a
I don't know
supposedly
I don't know how their team structure is.
Well,
Like, or they have some
they had-
overlap with pre-production.
they have to
and
have
stuff.
multiple teams because
Yeah.
like apparently development started on this in like 2017, like early stuff, right?
They probably have
Like-
usually the big game companies, right? They'll have like a core team working on some like early setup of everything, and then everyone else kind of jumps in.
They got me. I've already said this. They got me so spoiled, but like, yeah, they figured out something with this engine that I'm too much of a derp to know what works. But yeah, I've never really had any performance issues out of like any new installment of Resident Evil remake or the last like real installment. Like they do run so well, and yeah, like optimized to like run on
A Switch 2, even like it
Which to
looks
your
pretty
point,
good.
yeah,
It looks
the
pretty
Switch
good.
too.
I will say, I don't know how much this factors in, but I'm just like looking really quick. One of the things that is a factor for Village is that it was cross-gen at the time. So,
Oh, yeah.
and
That
this
helps.
is not a cross-gen
That is a good
title.
point.
Forgot
So
about that.
I feel like there is a little bit of adjustment you have to make for being a cross-gen title, right? To be able to work
Yeah.
on both, you have to kind of adjust things.
That's a good point. Yeah.
How cool! I hope we get another one. I'm not,
It's
like,
just
I'm
so
not even done with
interesting
this one. I'm
because
ready for
Capcom's
like
one of the legacy developers, from way back when, and so they just never were known for like being the cutting edge of technology, like
Yeah.
this whole time, like decades. And then suddenly, I mean, the last few games they've made, I mean, they look good, but Monster Hunter looked really good. But I don't know, this just comes out. I didn't expect it to be like the best looking game of the generation, basically.
best wood, best tile, best walls. This game has the best looking house features. Like they need to also. I'm not gonna pull them away from like doing another Resident Evil game, but like, man, imagine if they did like a Sims game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh.
holy shit!
Whoa.
The
Resident
house.
Evil Happy Home Designer. When?
No.
What about the power washing expansion?
Oh, don't
Oh,
I just
yeah.
like that was a face I just made that like was you're gonna have to roll that back if you want to see it, but that just got me, Josh. Maybe moist.
There you go.
Not gonna lie.
There you go.
That made me moist.
How many puzzle doors are you putting in your house in your Resident Evil Happy Home? Like you're like
There's a lot.
The way that would be so good. And like you can clean the bathrooms, Jerica, all day long.
I would.
Katie Blossom says that would be my first RE game.
I'll have to tag them in that. There's a clip there, I'm sure. Make sure they hear our pleas, or at least
I feel
mine.
like it would be so good. Yeah. That's so funny.
All right. Well, I don't want to keep Madeline here all evening. I
can talk about Resident Evil for hours and hours.
Okay.
And hours.
Well, okay. But I figure we wrap up like our conversation. I already can't wait to just like, I want to keep talking to y'all too, but I also just like I cannot wait to play more. Like,
y'all gotta go. You have to go play now. After this. We gotta wrap it up so everyone can get back in.
Get back in there. We're wrapping up with like just early story feels, like where we like where it's at. This is probably the toughest one to talk about with all of us here because we're at different completion levels. And for me though, like just sort of setting it up, like, do we like Grace? Do we like where Leon's at? You know, I love seeing a character from our Resident Evil 2 make an appearance. So like, I do love the incorporation of some lore. And then obviously going into it, I agree. I don't think you have to play any of the other Resident Evil games before you play Resident Evil 9. Just jump in. You don't need to know nothing. I think it's fine. Do it. Have fun. It's the best looking game you can play right now. And sounds incredible. Yeah, early story setup. How are you feeling? Anything, especially like Kayla, because you're always you have a keen eye for a good story. It could be because all those books you read, you know, that helps, I think. But anything that story-wise that's sort of grabbing you?
For me, I think that we're going to get a lot of expansion on like Grace. I hope that we get a lot of expansion on Grace's mental health and the way that she is kind of like processing her trauma through this exploration. Like, can you imagine, like, again,
it can't be the healthiest way.
I guess
one
we
way to go.
throw up a quick like spoiler in the first. Again, we're only talking like the first 2 hours, but I kind of want to talk about some specific story beats, if that's okay. Coal Mines mentioned something very important that we don't need to forget about. Did you guys notice the ring on Leon's finger?
No.
He's
married.
He's married.
What?
To me?
Yes.
Didn't you know?
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
That's why she got to play it earlier. Yeah.
To every person out there who wanted to marry Leon, he's married to you specifically.
Wow.
Dude, he looks so good in this game. I know we kind of talked about it, but like
majestic.
He looks
He's
so
the
good.
only one that only person I'd allow to have a Karen haircut and get away with it. Only one. Only one.
So good.
Only
That's
one.
so true.
But it doesn't look bad. But if you put that hairstyle on anyone else, it wouldn't work.
Jerica, did you notice that there's hair settings in your graphic settings?
I don't have those because I'm on PS5.
Oh,
I don't think.
I gotta show it to you. There's literally a graphic setting that is hair strands.
Your hair you might be getting better hair than I'm seeing, and I want to see that.
It's
some
so
of the
funny.
hair is nuts. Like Grace's hair, when you max those settings, like you can see every single like little strand of hair.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah, Coleman said hair stranding. That's so good.
Everything relates back to
Coleman's
Death
also said
Stranding.
this is the Gooner game for women. So funny. I mean,
God. Huh?
Again, you don't have a scanty clad, scantily clad. I don't know how you say that. Leon,
They
for me
definitely
to
know
be
what they're
woofing.
doing because he'll be just like walking around like, like doing weird things, like opening
Definitely
the door.
flexing a lot too. Like
Yeah.
he's like opening something and
Over
you see him go
there.
like
He's literally walking like this, like like the biceps, and I'm like, you know what?
As he
You don't
should.
have to prove anything to me, man. You've sold
I'm
me.
sold
at
already.
This point.
Well, it's funny. It is funny because they kind of lean into it because they lean into like the big mommy stuff with
Well, yeah.
the other games. So
That
it's like
also worked for me. I like
it
that.
It did, yeah.
and then people
That
are
was
like, wait, we thought the whole game was this, but
I
That was
mean,
just
you know,
supposed to-
Yeah.
false advertising.
she was in a lot of the marketing. Even now, she is.
yeah.
Still there.
What were we talking about?
Just like
distracted
story.
by Leon's good looks.
The story.
Instantly.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Of
Grace,
course.
you're hoping to see that expanded. Blah, blah,
I
blah.
am.
Yeah.
I really love the sections that we get. Like, I feel like, again, we talked about pacing earlier, but you set up, you're this FBI, like, agent. She does seem to have, like, not really have her shit together from the conversation with her boss. basically like saying like, hey, she's like, oh, like I'll get you the deadline like tomorrow. So you can tell in her office space, her desk is very messy. Like you can tell she's just like doesn't have it all together in her job. And they send her back to this place where her mom was murdered in front of her. And first of all, very inconsiderate.
No help.
I did think the setup was
I feel
kind of
like it's crossing a line a little bit. Like if your boss is like, hey, so I know
bestie.
your mom was murdered here. I need you to go back by yourself. Like, get over it. It's been 8 years. And you're like, okay.
But it's like the most messed up, sketchy place. There's no one there. It's like, oh my gosh.
How did they even know there was a dead person here? Like, what's happening? This is a setup.
The police are standing outside the door. Y'all don't hear anything going on inside of this place? Like, it's very interesting.
Typical.
I was a little hesitant at that point. And they almost had me there. I was like, okay, this is just, comical. What's Glasser Goblin say? Oh, he's talking about Lady D. Ignore him.
Mr. Hawk said, by the end of your playthroughs, I want a list of your favorite Leon one-liners. He's had some good ones. He's had some good ones so far. But yeah, basically the setup I think is awesome. Aside from like the funny stuff like that, I do think we're going to get a little bit more exploration. I'm excited to see Grace and Leon like engage with each other a little bit more. I'm curious what this dynamic is going to be like. Because again, she's like not super like survival, like, well, she is honestly though. She's scrappy because she did survive in the, obviously in the hotel after her mom died, and like she's making her way around, but it is interesting. Very intrigued about the mystery side of it. I want to know why she's been chosen by the doctor. Also, he's super scary. Like,
he's got those gold teeth though.
He kind of reminds me of like a comic book villain.
Yeah, it's giving Underminer from Incredibles a little bit. Or the guy from Atlantis, the mole guy.
Because of his little eye thing, right?
Yeah, his little headset, his little cutesy headset. But yeah, he's scary.
Dr. Gideon.
Yes, Dr. Gideon. Am I supposed to know him? Is he from?
Yeah, well,
okay.
He's been around in the RA universe. It was one of those names. I'm like, I know that guy, but then I was like, I don't remember him, but I know him. And then I Googled it. I was like, okay, I've
gotta be careful to Google
a little bit. But once again, you don't have to. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So anyways,
they give you a lot of pieces of paper with notes on them to read.
Also, I love the way that they do the notes. Like, I feel like they're doing things differently than they have in other RE games. This is such a specific niche thing, but like the way that they have the arrangement on your screen of like the note and the like text description on the right, like I feel like everything looks so cool. Like when you're investigating stuff, I don't know. That's just a little thing that I liked. Mr. Hawks in the chat said it's Gideon Graves from G-Man Records. He set up the League of Evil Exes to try and stop Scott Pilgrim from dating Ramona Flowers.
I don't think Ramona would give him the time of day. He's like 8 feet tall and his skin is gray.
Yeah, that's so funny.
He does have like is it the like snake skin or like some kind of
like his jacket is like a snake skin,
crocodile jacket.
Also,
weird.
Are we gonna have to watch Leon die? I'm so sad because he's infected, and we see that.
Yeah, Madeline, tell us if does he die?
No.
Well, so at the very end,
wow, blink twice if he survives, and blink. I'm just kidding. She's like, man.
I wanted to say something about Gideon that I think is very important. Dr. Gideon, which is that this is not a spoiler. When you're in the thing and you're in the safe room, there's like a magazine. And it has a picture of him with like everyone who works at the facility. Ooh. And he is like actually like 8.5 feet tall and looks disgusting. And I'm like, none of these, this is like a magazine and no one is like, this guy's obviously evil. Like he doesn't look like a normal person at all.
I thought the exact same thing. He looks like a character from like Hotel Transylvania in that picture.
Yeah, I saw that picture. He looks like the Joker.
Reanimated. Yeah. Like, is a zombie, but everybody's like, no, that's just Victor. He looks like that. That's just fine. Maybe there's other people walking around this universe that are just, scientifically injected with something that makes them different in a superhero, I guess. I don't know.
Really quick, Madeline's gonna have to cover her face for this to not give us away anything. But I'm just kidding. Well, maybe. Colemine said, what if the final choice is saving Grace from Gideon or saving Leon from his disease? Ooh.
Saving Grace.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lived a full
Madeline, you're
life.
Welcome in, Hamo Tonko. Thanks for joining.
I'm curious from Madeline. Like, I know it's hard to separate the spoilers, but you know, you've been playing a lot of the Resident Evil games anyway, so I am curious where overall, what's your story impression, like vaguely though?
Yeah, so my vague impression of the story would be that I really enjoy the story of this game. I think it stays pretty grounded throughout, which I like, and I think it deals with the emotional impact of the events best of any of the Resident Evil games that I've played. I think we actually see Grace and Leon feel emotions about everything that they're going through, and I found in other Resident Evils, right, like Ethan gets shit a lot because he's just like, oh man, yeah, like he just doesn't react to anything. And like same, I feel like in most of the Resident Evil games, everyone's just kind of like, wow, that's weird, did you see that monster? That's pretty weird. And they don't actually deal with like the emotional ramifications of like killing 700 people within the span of 2 hours. And I think this story and these two characters, you actually see some kind of emotional and story arc happen with them that it actually touched me emotionally in the game. So I this was the first one where like I was kind of like, whoa, like some of the things that they encounter and say and go through, they interact with that and have to kind of deal with it. And I think it's really cool. I was a really big fan of where they went.
I can't wait.
I'm excited
for this game.
That's very encouraging. Yeah, I was like, I've never played these for the story that much. I just like the vibes and like the feeling. But like, I'm already hooked where I'm at already. A little bit like there's potential, so I'm very excited to hear you say that it holds up throughout the game.
I always thought of like Resident Evil narratives and even like gameplay is like a mix of like Evil Dead and Twin Peaks, you know? And I think, and which might be a bad assessment, but that's sort of like where my head's at when I sort of jump in and play that has really fun puzzles, and I love that loop so much. So yeah, hearing you say that, like it seems like the commitment to a serious tone, and yeah, like telling a different type of story with characters. Well, Leon we're more familiar with, but yeah, I like them stepping outside of their, would it be a comfort zone for this particular studio to do with Resident Evil. I like it. I love that we're getting, even with Silent Hill last year, even though, you know, it's been a minute since Silent Hill's been hot on the block, but even with Silent Hill F, like I was like, okay, this is a fun return to form, or at least like I'm excited to see these games, this IP, like do some new stuff. And, you know, I'm always up for like, I think every game can almost have its own new like identity, as long as it keeps to the things that make it great. But I'm also just I'm sort of conflicted because I'm like, now I just want another, if I get another Resident Evil, I need to have two characters I'm bouncing back and forth with. I don't know. I just like where the future's headed for Resident Evil in general.
Yeah.
Now, Madeline, did you play Silent Hill F?
Yes.
Okay. Because that's something we liked about that was the story. Like it takes a while to get going, but we really liked how that story was. And so when we were talking about that, I was like, well, you know, Resident Evil, the gameplay is kind of fun, but I really like the story of this. So this is like kind of hitting both, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think Silent Hill F's story is a lot deeper. Like Silent Hill F, the story is very much like the main reason I would play that game, right? I think this has I think Resident Evil 9 has a better story than most of the other Resident Evils. I don't think it quite hits like the depth maybe of a Silent Hill F, but for what I was expecting and what I got, I'm very happy with what it ended up being.
Ooh, yeah, for sure. I don't expect that same level of narrative as well. Just like, but also I don't think it needs it necessarily.
No, exactly.
Because of the enjoyment level that we've had.
Yeah, it's a bonus for me. You know, I was like, oh wow.
Yeah. Hamatonko had a theory earlier saying that they feel like they want to make Grace the Leon of the new generation of Resident Evil protagonists based on her lines and movement. I think that's very interesting. It reminded me of Leon in Resident Evil 2 during his first day in the job. Very cool theory. Yeah, I'm so excited to continue to play.
All right, where do we want to get to next week?
Yeah,
well, you're probably already there. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I think I'm there for probably week 3.
Yeah,
I
and
might
that's
be
the thing
like
too.
on my 4th week.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if we need to change the way that we're
hold on to that thought.
Yes.
Real quick, Madeline, what's the average beat? Like, what have you heard on the streets with playtime? How long does this take you to beat? Like the first time? What are we thinking here?
That's such a hard question because it seems like it's varying wildly. Well, first of all, the game clocks and like my actual experience seem to be very different.
Interesting.
That's
Okay.
been something people have been noting where like someone will be like, oh, well, my game clock said I only spent 10 hours, but I feel like I spent 15. So I don't really know how the game clock is measuring time versus like the PlayStation clock or, you know, your actual real perception of time. Maybe there's like a weird time dilation going on. I like spent about 18 hours playing. Okay. I'm slow though, so it does seem like the average is like somewhere between 10 and 15 depending on how fast or slow you're going. I mean, I like to go back and save a lot. I'm very slow. I look methodically at everything. I'm like, yeah, looking at the rays being traced. I'm like looking at the buttons like
yes.
So I'm definitely on the upward end. Like my PlayStation clock said 20. So that's what I said on my review. It's kind of funny. I think it probably ended up being closer to 18. I think that was a little bit high. I don't know what, I think my actual play clock within the game, I don't know what it said, but I want to say 10 to 15 is kind of where a lot of people are ending up.
Blaster Goblin.
Real quick. I want to see what my game says real quick. Okay. Keep going. Do your thing. I'll be right back.
Okay, gotcha. Blaster Goblin said Resident Evil clocks pause when you open the pause menu and the maps. That's very interesting.
Blaster Goblin said it took me 12 hours to get a 9-hour run. So that's where like there's a big discrepancy as far as like what the game's going to tell you and what you're physically experiencing in the real world.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I'm going to be honest, I haven't really paid attention to what my game clock says, but my Steam like runtime, which obviously is going to be inflated a bit, but just because of like Steam being open and menus and all that, but it says 2.3 hours.
Yeah, and Davey said Steam said 16, but game said 11. So it's like,
yeah, that's a pretty big jump. Yeah,
you can't be in the menu. Surely it's not just pause. You're not paused for like 5 hours.
For 5 hours,
surely.
yeah, I know. Yeah. That's why I'm like, that's why I was like, I just went by my sessions about how long I played every single time.
Yep.
And I'm like, I think it was closer to 18.
Interesting. Good question from Hamatonko. Madeline, I feel like probably would be the most well-equipped to answer this as well as you can without spoilers, but do you guys think Requiem will get story DLC of some sort? And this would be more for me and Josh, but like, and what do you guys think it would be based on as far as where you're at in the game? But Madeline, do you think there will be a story or DLC?
I would assume so because they've done story DLC for, I think, the last several games, right? Like, I know 7 had them. Did 8 have DLC?
It did, yes.
Okay, because I didn't play it. 8's on my list to play soon. But yeah, everything has had DLC, so I would assume they would. My guess for the DLC, without spoilers, I think they could do something interesting with like a prequel as to what's happening at Dr. Gideon's mansion. They could reuse those same maps, but you could kind of see what was happening there before Grace got there. I think that could be interesting.
I want to play as the lady cleaning the bathroom. I need to know her
Let's
story.
see what she's doing. Let's see what she's doing before she turned.
It's like it's like 2 Point Museum, and you control the little workers, and you like build the little.
Very
good. I think there's another possible DLC that I can't really talk about without spoilers that comes a lot later in the game. So
let's go.
Okay, Jericho, what was your time?
It's definitely wrong. I've not played 17 hours. It says I played 17 hours, but I have left that on and like cooked a pizza, had some pizza.
It's a lot of pizza eating time.
Yeah.
It's counting my. It's just the PS5 clock because I didn't look at like I don't know if it shows you the time on your saves or not. I haven't paid attention.
It just at the end. So when you complete the game, it'll say like 12 hours C rank or whatever, right? Like it does at the end of Resident Evil games.
Yeah,
so you won't know what your internal clock is until you finish the game. But it's going to be wildly different than, like I said, your real life experience of playing because like the times are so off.
I definitely haven't been playing that much, but also so I was able to look at like completion like based on the main missions, I guess, or like the main story, and it says 57%. So
yeah, and you said you felt like you'd put about 10 hours in it.
Yeah.
So that seems like closer to where I'm at, right? Where I said like 18-ish hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like it's such a funny thing. Some people said, 10, I finished it in 10. So anywhere between 10 and 20 hours is such a wide breadth of how long. I think it just depends on how scared you are and how slowly Grace walks around the corners.
Yeah.
Truly.
I think that we can just play by ear.
Yeah, because I've hit a point where I'm like, I think this is a halfway point. And Audrey thought I was about to roll. She was like, this seems like a good place where credits could just pop up and there's a cliffhanger. I was like, I feel like I'm at the halfway point.
That's such an interesting point, Jerica, because when I was playing prior, the only other person I knew who was playing it, who for sure was Roger Picorni from Kinda Funny. And I texted him, I'm like, do you know how close I am to the end? Because I've hit like 2 different points where I was like, this game could either end right now or could go on for like another 3 hours, and I have no idea which it is.
I love when games do that.
Yeah,
me too. It is a good sign, but yeah, you'll hit those moments. So who's to say? We don't know how many episodes of this we'll have. Like Kayla was saying, we don't know.
Yeah, and I think that's fun.
Yeah.
It's one of those where you'll have to follow us on social media, and you'll have to jump in the Discord to see, because we try to let you know before we go live kind of what we're going to be discussing, just so that you're aware for like spoiler sake and everything. But I'm really glad that we had Madeline on for our first episode, that she could give us a little
thanks for having me.
Peek behind the curtain to tell us what to expect. Very exciting.
And I promise I'll go back and watch the review after I beat this game, which I should be close.
You better leave a comment, Jerica, so I know that you were there.
All the comments. Maybe I'll leave a paragraph. What's the limit to what you can leave on a YouTube comment? I don't know. It will be the world's longest Jerica comment on YouTube for sure. So
funny. Last question for Madeline, since it's rare to have someone who was able to review basically a AAA game, and I think you had said you'd finished it like a week before. So like you just mentioned, there was only like one other person that you personally knew that was playing it. There's other reviewers, but what was that experience like? Does it make you nervous that you might get it wrong? Like when sometimes the reviews come out, there's like one person who's just like off, like out of everyone. You're like, and everyone's like looking like, oh, who's this person? Like, it's like 888, and then there's like a 5 or 6, and maybe just like, is that in your head at all, or you just kind of like put that out of your head?
It's definitely something I think about, because especially because I liked it so much, I feel like I was more nervous because I did like it so much. I'm like, am I just like, my eyes are just seeing stars because it's like a big, fancy game, and like maybe if I don't actually like it that much. And then I was talking with one of my close friends, and she was like, she's not even a gamer. She's like, but you just have to be honest with your opinions. You know things about video games. You've played this franchise before. Like, it doesn't really matter what other people think. That's not the point, is to have a general consensus amongst everybody. The point is to give your opinion based on your background. And so I'm like, as someone who's new-ish to the series, who's played a couple of Resident Evil games, but loves horror, like, this is the opinion you're getting from me. And I think that's the great thing about having so many different people review it, because you have people like me who have a certain experience, and then you have someone who has played every Resident Evil game and is deep in the lore and is like, that character is this side character from this note from the anime, and like, if that person likes it too, then isn't that such a great indicator of the quality of a game. So it's like, I just have to be honest to myself. What's more stressful about reviewing it is like, what if I get stuck? I don't have a guide to help me. There was a part in this game that I got stuck, and I just had to go through every single room, and I eventually figured out what I had been missing. But like, I was like just doing laps around every single room. I'm like, there's something that I'm not seeing because I feel like I've explored everywhere and there's no path forward, but there has to be, because there has to be, the game needs to keep going. So I finally figured out, and I was like, oh yeah, that was my bad. But I was very stressed in that moment where I was like, I can't like ask anybody. I'm just like, I have to just brute force it until I can make it to the next area.
That's terrifying. I've never thought about that. Like, and I know Jerica kind of did that with Death Stranding. I don't know if you had a similar experience, but like, I can't imagine like, and then I would like catastrophize. What if I don't get to review this game because I didn't finish it? Like that would be wild for me.
I would be really like, obviously Death Stranding, there's a lot of help, but yeah, there was moments I was playing that I thought about you specifically. I was like, man, I couldn't imagine not being able to look like up, like this puzzles is a part of the DNA of Resident Evil. So like, and I'd be so terrified. Yeah, I get to a point where I got stuck, but to your point though, I have gotten to points where I always think I'm about to look up something and then I don't. Like, so it just takes you a while and you want to really figure it out. But yeah,
well, it's nice knowing you have the safety net though, right? Because you're like, if I want to look, sometimes just knowing that the answer is there, it puts your brain into like a different mode, and then you're like, oh, I can figure it out on my own.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
That's fun though. What a ride! What another layer of horror to add to your your playtime.
That's funny.
Oh, great. Well, Madeline, thank you so much for being a part of JK Games. One more game. You got to be a part of history because this is the first time we're like saying the official new title of this segment of JK Games.
Woo!
One more game. Will we have some flames next time and all three of us chant one more game? I was like, move that bus from whatever.
Move that
kind
bus.
of energy. Move that bus. Yeah.
One more game.
Yeah.
I just want to say really quick that thank you so much for having me on. I love the JK Games podcast and the drop in, drop out community. Y'all are killing it. It's so awesome to see everything that you are doing. Like, keep working so hard because you're doing amazing. And I just wanted to say I'm very grateful to be here and get to hang out with cool people who do awesome things.
Aww.
Shucks.
Shucks.
I don't have any other way to top that. So that was very sweet. Thanks, Madeline.
One more time, Madeline, tell the people where they can find you, and then chat if you want to hang around. We're going to raid Shay Noel after this.
Yeah, if you want to see me play more horror games, come over to twitch.com/madexposure. Every Sunday is Sunday Scaries, where I get scared so you don't have to. And also on Wednesdays, just variety day, whatever we want to play. And yeah, also find me on Blue Sky or Instagram if you want to see some fun photos that I'm taking.
Oh, so fun. All right, y'all. It's been real. See you next week.
Hopefully.
Bye. Hopefully.
Hopefully, if the scaries don't get to you.
Ooh.